Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. My name is Maria. Welcome to my channel, Mosaic Maria. If you're a first-time subscriber, welcome. Thank you for dropping in. If you're just thinking about subscribing, hit the subscribe button, check out my videos, check out all of my feed and playlist. And if you like it, I'd be very glad for you to stay. And for all of you that have been subscribing for years, hello, and thank you for hanging in there. I hope you're having a good Saturday. Getting chilly. It's early in the morning, so I'm in the gray. Definitely in the gray. I've got the hall light out there on. If I turn my, so I apologize for my light. If I turn this light on here, it's going to wipe me out because it's really dark outside right now. So I'm not going to get good lighting. It will start to. It's just going to look gold from that lamp and yellow. Give me a yellow tinge and be greeny. So it is what it is right now, and that's fine. All right, so I made a video and I took it down, and that was about returning to work and an update on returning to work and what my experience has been like after being on disability and still being on disability for 20 years, 25. So full time. So I'm 63 years old and I went on disability in 1992 and then I worked on and off part-time different jobs. Then I went on full disability by 1998. I was pretty much on full disability. Um, so, because I worked and I paid into the system from the time I was 14, um, I had a lot of history of work under my belt. I went into what's called Social Security disability. If you're younger and you haven't worked much and you end up with a condition that leaves you in either chronic pain or unable to do range of motion things, or um, if your main disability is in a condition that your doctor thinks is progressive or isn't going to get better and leaves you unable to make a viable, sustainable, gainful employment that you can count on. Like everybody gets sick once in a while. How well do you recover? If you don't recover well, how quick is your recovery time? Do you just get a quick case of the flu and get over it in a couple of days? And are you able to say to your employer, I'm okay now? Do you get a flu and it knocks you out for 2, 3 weeks and maybe your employer can't put up with that? So it all depends on everybody's unique situation. Do you have an invisible illness, which is your mental health, or an autoimmune illness where you look fine, like myasthenia gravis, lupus, systemic lupus erythematosus, something you can't see. You can't see the hump in the back. You can't see the crooked spine. You can't see the limp. You can't see the arthritis. You can't see the tumors. You can't see it, but people are in chronic pain and sick, and it's debilitating. If you have one of those chronic pain illnesses, I'm going to say something that's going to sound very. If you've been told you have fibromyalgia, I'm going to tell you something that I resisted for years, and that is exercise. I resisted it. So I would get into situations where I would do a lot of exercise because I wanted to exercise. My brain, my soul wanted to move, my body wanted to move. It was like aching to move, and I would move, and then I would overdo and wipe myself out for days. If you're a fibromite, you know that most of us talk about overdoing and then having to uh, pay for it, like having like really going, and then our one day of really hard work could maybe 2 days later knock us out. What I've found that works for me is if there's stress in between that big workout, I'm talking about things that are in limbo. We have no control of. We've done everything we can do. We filled out the paperwork. We've done 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. We've dotted the I's. We've crossed the T's. We've shown up, been at the interviews. We've done everything, and now we're in limbo. We don't know. We don't know. What will the rent be? We don't know. What will the gas and electric bills be? We don't know. How far up is the food going? We don't know. Are you still eligible for this? You don't know. Those in between things. Will so and so get into college? Will this one be accepted? Will your loved ones, your kids, are they going to be okay? How's your family doing? The things that run around in our head all the time. Why can't I lose that last 5 pounds and keep it off? Why does it keep finding me? Why can't I lose 10? Whatever it is that's driving you bonkers, how much we entertain that in between our really big workouts is usually, I want to say, the killer icing on the cake. So it's good for our body to keep moving and to build up our stamina with rest in between. And the important thing is rest for the mind. Pause. Pause from digital. Get away from the computer. I've learned this from my daughter, I've learned this from my son this past 3 years, and my daughter, just take a digital break, just go off. Um, and don't have to be checking into Facebook all the time. Don't have to be checking into everything all the time. Just go away from it. And come back for a short time. And even out here on YouTube, being a content creator, I want to keep showing up, but then I need time to do my research, time to read my books that I'm going to review. And I was always rushing that and trying to keep up with everyone else's channel so that, we all kept up with each other. So we would keep up with each other. They would keep up with me. Networking. And I would say this for anybody that has an online business and entrepreneur, content creators, is we can get very in our head looking to see what everybody else is saying and responding to that. It's not worth it. If you have fibromyalgia, if you had lupus, if you have myasthenia gravis, if you have MS, if you have chronic pain, rheumatoid arthritis, alkalizing spondylosis, if you have any of the psoriatic arthritis, any of the things that really hurt your body, fibromyalgia, you got to clear this. Okay, so I returned to work and I made a video um, about it just moving forward, and as long as you report to your SNAP nutrition food stamp program, whatever it is in your area, right away, you won't get cut off. They'll see how much you're making and they'll adjust. They'll wait and see how long you make it. That's not true. They take it away right away. Okay, so I took the video down. Social Security disability, supplemental security income. Supplemental is when you haven't earned enough, you haven't worked enough, you don't have enough history, so you have SSI. SSD is when you have worked enough and you've paid into the system and your taxes, so you can get disability. That's what I'm in. So you can make more money. Everybody will have a different amount. You can make up to either 970 last year, it was 930 the year before. Every month, it will be 5.7 to 8.7 higher. This year, it might be 1,000. It's going to be around 1,300 for most people. And then for people that are on SSD and have worked a good 20 years, 25 years, it'll be something like 1,500 you can earn every month for 9 months until they cut you off. Right now it's at 970 to 1,350. So for 9 months you work that and they count. Say this month say I make $400 this week and $400 next week. And they go by the gross pay, not your take home, not your net. So gross pay. So say I make $400 and $400. That's 800 right there. And then I make $60 and then I make $400. Okay, so I would be right up to almost at 900, but they wouldn't count the $60 month. They don't. Okay, so it has to be consecutively rolling over. So say you make 900, say you make $1,000 in 1 month. You're over the 970. So that counts as 1 month. But then the next month, you only make 875. That month doesn't count. So it keeps going consecutively. I hope I explained that well. Then you go into a 36-month trial after that, where you can earn what they call a substantial gainful employment income. It will be different for everyone. It goes by how much you paid into the system. For me, at $1,350, once I make that every month, I can then be gainfully employed. Then they have to check out if you're still disabled. So if your employer is having to hire extra people to help you, or they're having to step in, or give you less work, or you're not able to be there when they actually need you, your availability is all over the place, or you're getting sick a lot, all of those factors are weighed in. Then the accommodation. They do not give most high corporate, high end places, corporate America will say equal opportunity. They hire people with disabilities. It depends. If if you're not a if you're not keeping up, they will make special arrangements for you for a short time, but then they'll look into maybe you would do better in a different job. They'll move you around. They might put you on washing dishes. They might, which washing dishes is really important. They might put you on sweeping the floor. They might put you on another pair of hands that other people can't do. So they will find something that you can do. But if it's something like you don't have transportation to a location, just don't apply for it. They're not going to give you transportation money. They don't give incentive money. They will take your food stamps away after you earn, if you're one person, after you earn more than $233 a week for 4 weeks. They will take away your food stamps. They'll start chipping away at that. The numbers might be changing because of the inflation, but over the pandemic, it's stayed pretty steady. For a person that's over 62 and has been on disability without any earned income, once they start earning $233 a week, they have to report it. So even though I didn't earn that, I earned $103 and $185, and they go by the gross amount, which is more. And so um, I had to report right away. That will start getting adjusted immediately. So count on losing your food stamps. So in the month that you're beginning to work, stock up on as much food as you can. Stock your freezer, stock canned goods, rice, beans, rice, beans, all your condiments, spices, everything's going up. Dry milk, powdered milk, get it all, get going, because they'll start whittling that down. So you have all your stuff. Just okay. What else? And then as you get going, you can buy a little meat, little vegetable, bring it home, and you have your little side things to make little something. Try to work somewhere they give you a meal, and that's what I did. And I get a sandwich a day, or a little uh, bagel sandwich, or egg and cheese sandwich, or a chicken or ham sandwich, or whatever. I get something. Um, so that helps. For budgeting and groceries, I would say if you're a single person or two people in the house, just buy 6 eggs at a time right now, because eggs are up to almost $4. So I don't know. I've checked into egg beaters, and just use your coupons wisely in your box tops and shop the sales. Look for day old stuff too. Look at the bottom of the shelves all the time, and clearance racks everywhere. Two for this, two for that. Stock up. Okay, so having said that, the other video I made it sound like as long as you report, you'll keep everything. You won't. You, if you're on Medicaid, if that's your secondary insurance, if you're Medicare, A, B, or A, B, C, D, you're fully on Medicare, but your secondary insurance is Medicaid. The the plus, the egg at the end, the golden egg at the end of the rainbow, is if you're working and you're deemed disabled, you got disabling conditions and you're working up to 20 hours or up to 30 hours, which is considered part-time in some places, you will be able to go into a buy-in medical program instead of having to pay a spend down. Meaning you make too much money to be eligible, and then you got to pay what's in between and spend it down so you can get your Medicaid. You have to keep running back and forth to Department of Human Services, stand in line with a bunch of people, wait, turn in your money, go home, wait, turn in your receipts, wait, go home, wait to get put in the system, wait to get a letter saying you can go to your doctor now. That is stress. That is calling Medicaid where I paid, the worker didn't put it in. Over the pandemic, it was absolutely horrible. I was grateful for video calls, very grateful. Um, if you have medical transportation, you have to take a medical cab. If you do not have a doctor appointment within 90 days, if you don't go back to that website within 90 days, they will kick you out. They will say decline. Don't freak out about it. Just know they will say decline. If you don't use your Medicaid in the month that you paid for, you will get a refund, but it won't come until maybe 3 months later to 6 months when they audit. What else? What else? When you go to fill in, they will send you employer statements to give to your employer, which is kind of embarrassing. I know I had to give my employer an employer statement and ask him to fax paperwork that I wanted to fax myself, but you can't. Eventually, you can send in your pay stubs to Section 8 Housing HUD, to Medicaid or a medical buy-in, and to your food stamp. Eventually, you can just upload those to a website or through New York Gov Doc Submit app, or fax it. The library, you can ask a friend to fax, or you can go there and drop off the paperwork. A lot of people are just constantly having to go there and drop off the paperwork. But the actual employer statement, it's not something you can fill out. Don't fill out part of it. Don't fill out your name, your social security number, your address, and then have your employer fill out the rest of it. They will kick it out of the system. Make sure every line is filled in. Even if it doesn't apply to you, just put an N/A, N-A. Even if the question says, if you answered, um, if you answered yes, skip the next section and go to, I don't know, whatever. Fill that in, cross it out, put a line through it, put NA. That part is telling you to skip. Then go down. Make sure you sign and date. They have to accept it if you sign and date it. They can call you up and tell you we need information from you. That's about it. What else? What else? What else? Have good shoes, good arch support, good room for your toes, good slip resistant track, slip resistant. You want that and good cushioning. Walking shoe that you can break, that has easy break-in ability. I'm using Easy Works. I'm looking at my shoes now. I'm putting them up in my dresser so my cat will get to them. Very interested in them. Um, Dustin. My cat's name is Dustin. Sitting right here. Just take a look. You see him? There he is, right there. Say hello, Dustin. Say hello. Hello. Sitting by my side. So, yeah, put your shoes up if you have a dog or a cat that will be interested in your new shoes, right? Um, have good boots for the winter if you're taking the bus. What can I tell? This is what I could tell you about a high-end grocery store, and there's many videos out there about Wegmans. Now, I live next door to Wegmans, and I am in Wegmans every day for about 2 to 3 hours. I could be a store shopper. I know that Wegmans at the back of my hand. Every time they revise it, I know where everything is. I could zoom around. If you're ever in Wegmans and you think I look lost, I'm not. I am actually thinking about what I have home that could go with what I'm cooking. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so having said that, I've applied and been called for 4 interviews for that location. And the actual thing that's working against me, finally someone got honest and said, it's your proximity. You have to be willing to go to another location and then transfer to the one that's right next door to you. That's 5 steps away from you. Even though it would make you more available, you're available morning, afternoon, nights, overnights, and you would per diem, you'd be able to, they could call you in whenever they needed you. And you're always going to be on time. Say you're available if you're going for part-time positions. Say you are available from 6 a.m. to midnight, Monday through Sunday, holidays and weekends and overnights. I swear to God, I have had 4 recruiter interviews where they've all said, excellent. I have good employees that have worked there 20, 30 years who have referred me, and I've used as personal references and employee references, good people. Everything checks out good. And then they have to tell me, you're not available now. I've even gotten into the orientation, and then they had to tell me, there's nothing open now at this, but you have your orientation in, which is absolutely absurd to me. So finally, I went to the top and said, what is going on? I am rushing home from one job to take a phone call from a recruiter from the same things over and over again, and then being told your availability. How could I be more available? I live next door to you. I'm available. I walk by your store and in your store to get stuff on the way to work. I walk by your store and in your store on the way home to go home. And then I walk into your store later. How can I be unavailable? Um, Human resources, if you live right next door to the place you're applying to, you might get in, but it's rare. Most of the employees that work there consistently part-time live elsewhere, and they're willing to uh, make that transportation. They're willing to do that. So um, now I'm looking into one that it would take 3 buses, and I would have to walk 15 to 17 minutes in each direction in between. And that's not even feasible, and nor is that okay. I know that is not okay. I will not be walking in the dark in the winter on the ice and standing out in the areas that is, and just won't be doing that. So that's a no-no. So I was just really honest with them and said, okay, well then it's a no. I'm moving on. Once I said that, they said, okay, we could set you up with a recruiter um, for your location. They saw that I was willing to apply to somewhere further away for that same position. For they saw I was willing to keep applying to all positions, including janitor, including dishwasher. Take let Wegmans see that you're willing to clean the bathrooms, you're willing to clean out the coolers, you're willing to clean out the freezers, you're willing to work in 41-degree and under weather, you're willing to work in the warehouse. Let them see that and just keep applying. Push forward. Um, and their part-time is a maximum of 30 hours, and part-time is you have to be available 6 a.m. to midnight. So for those really cushy jobs that you're looking for or Wegmans and all that they help you with your shoes and your uniform. They make sure you have good shoes. They swap them out every 3 months. I actually said in the last interview, the first thing they said is, why do you want to work at Wegmans? I said, I've been through 4 of these interviews now, and I've said all the right things like, oh, you started in my town, you're a high-end grocery store, but you still got that small town feel. Everybody knows stuff. I've done all that. She giggled. I said, I'm in it for the shoes. Sometimes you do have to, they're firing questions at you, and sometimes you just have to humanize them on the phone. And it works. So just follow your gut instinct there. What else? What else? What else? What I would say is you are going to be bogged down with a lot of paperwork in the beginning when you're on disability. Um, your doctor, when you go to your doctor, I'm going to my doctor on Wednesday. I can already see it. She's going to want me to have a booster shot. That's going to give me time off that I don't want to take off. Um, I had my shot 1, shot 2, and my booster. And I was due to get another booster in June. But in June, I saw my doctor, and my doctor said, no, not now. Wait till autumn. So they're going to want me to do the autumn one. But this variant booster, they don't know enough about the B variant. I'm not doing it. Um, you can wear your mask if you want to. There's no employer that can tell you not to wear your mask. Um, I see people in Wegmans with their mask on, people without. Um, I took a per diem job as an examiner at the county of Monroe. A lot of us are in the back room and there's people around. Some people have KN95 masks on, some people have N95 masks on, some people have a little surgery mask. Nobody has a cloth mask, and some people don't wear a mask. Um, if you're going to work in a medical environment, you have to wear a mask. Um, Food service, you gotta wear a glove. At least if you're right-handed, put a glove on your left hand. If you're left-handed, put a glove on your right hand. You gotta kind of your hands are always being washed because you're always washing things. Um, but keep that in mind. Um, so if you have maybe a hand that cramps up on you or a hand that uh, is in pain or whatever, and you can't put a glove on it or whatever, or you're got some kind of tactile stimuli going on where textures bother you, think about the temperature. If you're going to be working in really high heat, like kitchens that have 500-degree or 600-degree ovens going all the time, um, think about the heat in the kitchen, how you do with high heat temperature. Or think about if you're going to be working in an area where it's refrigerated and you're in cold, or you're going in and out of cold. So that would be what I would say. Good luck to everybody. And the most important thing is don't let anyone tell you you can't, but be reasonable about what your limitations are. Be willing to take a pause and rethink it and listen to your body. More than anything, your body will talk to you. Sometimes you got to talk back to your body and tell your body you're okay. Because your body is just like, whoa, what are you doing to me? You're walking every day. That cold air is hitting all my bones and my joints, and just switch on. But I wanted to correct this video because yeah, there's going to be a lot of paperwork. You are going to have to keep reporting. And at some point, if you keep working well, you could get up to full time. I started at 7.5 hours, went to 15 hours. Now I'm at 20 hours on my third week. And your employer will see what you're capable of and keep increasing and showing you more. If you really do get to like 20, 25 hours, you're adding to your Social Security disability. You're taking hours where you can still rest enough at home and get that in between time to that window of time you need to recuperate. Um, so make your days easier, prepare at night. I like to think of it like when my kids were little, I used to prepare their book bag at night. I used to set out their lunches, set out their breakfast, set out their coats, set out their shoes, set out my work clothes. I was a real prepper like that. I would have on my dresser the jewelry I was going to wear. The makeup was out. In my bathroom, I would have my toothpaste out, my washing cream, my soap already in the tub because I didn't like to leave it in the tub. Just kind of like stacking habits all over. Habit stacking, where you have everything ready to go. Um, Preparation, and then it's time efficient. You get up in the morning, you're not rushing last minute. Paperwork you got to do it the night before, set it out, bills, just reprioritizing everything because you're used to being home and having time to do stuff, and now you don't. You're on a schedule, so it actually feels better to be on a schedule. We were born to be on schedules. We were born to have a little bit of structure in our life. So it can be really off-putting, like the pandemic was, and like a lot of new entrepreneurs that work from home. Sometimes it's hard to get into that, make a schedule and stick to it like you're working a business, but have that flexibility to step away from it and tend to your kids or your animal or your own body and just go rest. So you just got to find your groove, and I would say have a good pair of working shoes. That's the most important thing. And be willing to swap them out and spend the money on your shoes. Boots, shoes, good socks, white socks. I would tell everyone this that is a little bit older, fighting their A1C numbers to keep them down. Make sure you have white, breathable, good circulation socks, or that you're wearing support stockings so you have good circulation but breathable so your feet don't sweat. Get rid of those sweaty socks, change them out often because your feet do sweat. It's actually good when your feet sweat, but you don't want to walk around with sweaty feet in your shoes. So get rid of those socks, clean out your shoes, and keep your feet breathing. Um, and stand up straight. Okay. And breathe. Take a deep breath. That's my video. I'm sorry the last video I took down, but I had to take it down because it was just, I thought, you know, you're going to report one time, that's it. They're going to keep checking. No, they're not going to do that for you. They're going to ask you to keep sending in your pay stubs. They're going to give you 3 or 4 different papers from everywhere. Your employer's going to have to fax. If they're not willing to do that, it's not good. And it will be embarrassing to ask your employer, can you fax this to my caseworker, please? Some of them will just be like, okay, and others will be like, oh, gee, there we go. So just let them know this is just the beginning, and eventually you'll be able to do it. Yeah, and working yourself off of things you've been dependent on is hard. It's hard. So I would say if you are going for Wegmans and you have to go to a location you're willing to travel to, and they're not going to hire you at the one that's right next door to you, and you're on disability and they're still not going to hire you because it's next door to you, um, be willing to set up kind of an Uber account or something like that because it's just not safe to be busing in the winter on the ice and walking 17 minutes here and 14 minutes there in between and waiting 10 minutes outside in the dark. So, you know, you know what is safe in your area and you know what is well lit and what's cuckoo. So don't do the cuckoo and be willing to set up you know, if you're having trouble getting to the interview, how are you going to get to work, right? So keep that in mind. And also we're in the flu season, so don't be afraid to wear a mask. A lot of people, where I work, a lot of people come in with N95s, KN95s, and other people don't. And just if you're compromised, then put the mask on. If everybody's coughing around you, I had to tell my employer the other day there was one employee that was just not covering his mouth, coughing all over everyone. And I saw people coming in with masks, but the actual crew wasn't wearing masks. So I asked him, do you mind if I wear a mask? He said, absolutely not. You can go ahead and wear a mask. He said, it's up to you. If you're back in the kitchen alone and he said, but if somebody's coming back there like that and walking right by you and coughing on you, he said, he was going to talk to that person, but he said, I will, you know, you wear your mask and keep yourself safe. So you know, and where I work in the other job, we got some people that don't wear a mask at all. It's a very small office. You're behind a partition, so the people coming in have to wear a mask to get in. But then there's people behind the partition, they're not wearing masks, and other people are. So it's the whole mask thing is very confusing. So, um, so I bought myself some pink KN95s, and I'll be wearing those. And that's all I got. That's all I can share with you. And I just want to encourage people that test your limits, push your limits, but don't overdo. Pace, persist, pause. Give yourself permission to pause. Give yourself permission to pause. If you know a store, I am saying this because somebody said this to me one day, and I just inwardly I laughed my butt off at him. It's like, oh yeah, I saw you at Wegmans the other day. You looked totally lost. You were just, ugh. You were lost. You didn't look like you knew where you were. Like, is that so? I am never in that particular Wegmans lost. I know exactly where everything is. Often, when people are looking for something, I help them find it. I go directly to my same grocery list that I get all the time. And if I'm standing there looking lost, it's because I'm in my head thinking, do I really want to cook that? Do I have enough of that at home? Do I want to buy that for that price? Okay. Um, don't let anybody gaslight you, and don't gaslight yourself. Don't gaslight yourself. Don't gaslight yourself. I'm going to say that again. To everyone with DID, MPD, post-traumatic stress disorder, agoraphobia, panic disorder, anxiety, depression, don't gaslight your own self. Okay? Be willing to look at what you can do. Look at all that is right with you, not wrong with you. Stop asking people what they think about you. You already know. Don't ask people what to do. You already know what you need to do. Stop making other people the expert of you. Your body was intelligently designed by God to talk to you. And you have the power to talk back to your body and to listen to your body, but not to be a victim to your own body. Okay? And your body can sense when you're getting nervous about it not keeping up its end of the bargain and start reacting to your stress, everything that's going on in your head. Okay? Allow yourself to recover. In this world, we don't allow ourselves that recovery time that we need. We want to know what it is, why do I have that pain? What is it? How do I fix it? And right away. And if you're diagnosis and fix me driven, you will be at the doctors a lot, and you'll be given a lot of different diagnoses. You will be sent to many specialists. The specialists will look for their expertise like this. My doctor and I do this all the time. We're like, oh man, if I send you to a neurologist, they're gonna go and they'll find something. If I send you to an orthopedic, they'll find something. So look at the whole body and stop asking other people to be the expert of you. And that's my video. And I kept saying, that's my video. So that's my video. I'm going to go now. Take care. So I'm sorry I had to take down the other video, but I was telling people it's okay. Just report it. You'll be fine. When they send you paperwork, just do it. They're going to keep sending you paperwork. They're going to, they're going to bogger you down in red tape forever until you finally say it's not worth it to work. No, 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 no. Instead say, maybe I don't need them. Maybe I can keep working and not need the food stamps. Maybe I can keep working and pay my own copays and make a payment plan with my doctor. Maybe I won't have to go to the doctor as much. Maybe my rent has gone up $200 starting in December and I'm in the thousands now, but maybe I'll be able to afford half of that because I'm still at a poverty level. So keep your Section 8, report it, and it won't count against you until it actually does, and they'll adjust. They'll adjust. Okay? And if you have to think about going to a one bedroom or a studio or a ranch, think about it and do it. Okay. Take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Happy Saturday.